Hey guys, wanted to go ahead and go totally off topic again here. For anyone who's concerned, don't worry about it. I will go over microphones. I will go over EDC gear. It's just that, I don't know where this goes, but I just sometimes just get bored. Today is July 5th, company holiday yesterday, and today I didn't go to work. So I'm just chatting away. So I wanted to actually do a video regarding college and school. And there are two different YouTube videos that actually cover this, and I wanted to actually give you my 2 cents regarding this, because the first video is College is a Scam by Nico.
School, you're having fun, you're doing your thing with all these new additions to colleges, and it's a great time. It's a great time. You're doing well, you're having a great time, your grades may not be suffering or anything, but...
And the second video is I Left My Job to Be a Full-Time Artist and Failed by Rini Apple, and this was actually released a couple days ago.
Illustration since I was a kid. It's been in my life, my whole life. My dream was always to become an illustrator, and to suddenly abandon that dream.
And it's a trip, because when I saw that thumbnail, when I saw that video, I got flashbacks, man, because I was the same way too. I actually was an artist. I actually used to do graphic design. I used to do art, and I stopped going that path. And I actually went out of it because I began to realize that it just doesn't make the money that I need to survive, And it's not just a thing. I actually noticed that in my art classroom, I would see everyone in class, and I would notice that, if I look at it today, hindsight is 2020. Now I look at how many years forward now, I look at very few survived. Or did well, because art is really, really competitive, and it's very subjective. And only very few of the so many thousands of people that I know that were in these programs actually made it. And when I say made it, I mean they made it to big time video game companies. And it's because you got to be what you're not seeing is when you go get a video game, let's say you're playing Elden Rings and you see the artwork, or what you're not seeing is those were the top cream of the crop. The rest of the guys are fucking unemployed. They're not working. But anyway, what Nico says is college is a scam. And then he goes over there's a video on it, and I just want to say a few things. He's right. It is a scam. When you really think about it, it's a scam, but you still got to do it. And I'll kind of elaborate. Basically, you spend all this money in college, and you may or may not get a job in the end. You know what I mean? And especially depending on what degree you choose, and you can go in debt. And what he's basically saying in his video is that he knows a lot of people that, they're just not, they can't find a job. So isn't that stupid? And it's true. Even right now, and I work, they do not hire any new grads. They do not hire, there's they call it IC4, IC5, IC6, right? They do not hire IC3s or IC4s anymore. In fact, they don't even hire IC5s anymore. Only staff engineers and up these days. You know what I mean? So imagine you are graduating out of college in computer science and you can't even fucking find a job. You know what I mean? So in that aspect, he's true. Now, the most important degrees you need to choose are ones that are related to STEM, right? But you may find it's not your cup of tea, right? But at the end of the day, what I truly believe is two things. When it comes to college, those 4 years are just fucking 4 years, but they make a huge impact on how much money you will make in the future. And it's just 4 years. So when people say they don't need a degree and they haven't graduated college, what you'll notice is, and I learned this as I was watching people around me as the years went on, those people who didn't go to college. So don't listen to people who say that college doesn't matter. It does matter. Is it a scam? Yes, it is. But it's kind of I know this is a terrible analogy, but if you're from the United States, you understand this. It's like insurance. Insurance is kind of a fucking scam. That doesn't mean you don't buy insurance. You still have to get insurance, because if something does go wrong, you're royally and so you almost have to think, as I would say, college is almost it's kind of like insurance. Yes, it's a scam, but you got to pay it, because I cannot tell you how many times where they just look at a resume and they just look at the education. And if they don't even know where you're from, they just skip your ass. You're done. Now, of course, I'm speaking from a limited sphere where I'm only talking about technology, but I think actually this goes for many, many careers. I know people will say, here's what's going to happen. What really matters more is the companies that you've been at and the experience. That is true to an extent, but at the end of the day, given two resumes where both of them have strong companies, but then one has graduated from college and one hasn't, they're going to go with the person who's got a degree. So don't dismiss that, is what I'm trying to say. Now, the second thing I want to talk about, which is important, and was a lesson I had to learn the hard way. So basically, it talks about this girl, she's doing all this art, and she left her job to
abandon my dream that I was so concerned about like getting rid of this like anxiety, this like anxious feeling that like, oh my God, like where's my next paycheck gonna be? Like, am I gonna be able to support myself? Have I made a mistake with my life? Like that.
So when I saw her video, it actually struck a nerve with me because it actually, in many ways, is sort of like what I learned I had to go through. And it was a lesson I learned. And the lesson I learned, and I know it sounds kind of like harsh, but it's kind of like what I learned is like, you may love to do something and you may study a career to do something that you love to do. And, there's that quote by either Confucius or Mark Twain or whatever. It says, if you do what you love to do, you'll never have to work a day in your life. And I used to actually believe that. But what I came to realize is that actually that's not true, because it's very possible that what you enjoy doing, what you love doing, in a world that values science and mathematics over art, you may find that it's just not going to make enough money for you to survive, And so it was my realization that like, I need to switch careers because this is not going to cut it for me. Like, this is not enough for me to make a living, for me to pay for medical insurance, ironically, to be able to support a family, to be able to own a house, to be able to live comfortably. This wasn't it. It's not imposter syndrome. I know there's imposter syndrome, but it's not that. And I think that's actually the biggest fallacy is that people think, oh, you just have imposter syndrome. It's like, no. There's truth. This is art, right? This is how many people were in art. Only these people made it. Not just in art. Like, slightly off topic, but a little bit on topic. Voice acting, right? Sometimes I'll talk about voice actors. It's not. There's actually a life pro tip on this on Reddit. It's not about doing the job that you love to do, because you may find out it makes diddly squat, nothing, no money. But what you will find is you just need to find a job that you can tolerate, a job that you don't hate, a job that you can tolerate, right? That will be able to, pay the money you need it to be. And if you do that, you're going to be better off than trying to work within these confines of making a job that you love to do that just frankly will not pay you what you needed to pay. And that's kind of like the lesson I learned in the end, is that I did a complete career switch, happier in a mental state, and you're going to be okay. And then you could still do what you want to do, So that's all I want to say. Okay, bye.